Emily Lighthairs was a little colored girl.
Knowing a woman's mind and spirit had been allowed me with dance.
I discovered my body more intimately than I ever imagined possible. Poems come on their own time with inspiration.
Words fell from the body, thus
acknowledging that poems and dance work on their own to do and be what they are.
Poems in a single statement, a choreo poem. I am offering these to you as what I have received from this world so far. Aunt Mammy was a little colored girl. Aunt Effie was a little colored girl. Mama was a little colored girl. Aunt Zaki Shangé was a little colored girl. You were a little colored girl.
Imagine if we could get them to talk, what would they say?
Imagine all the stories you could tell about the funny-looking colored girl, the sophisticated-looking colored girl, the pretty-looking colored girl.
The ones just like you. We are on the other side of the rainbow, picking up the pieces of the day spent, waiting for the poem to be heard. While you listen, we have other work to do.
Dark phrases of womanhood, of never having been a girl, half notes scattered without no rhythm, no tune, distraught laughter falling over a black girl's shoulders. It's funny, it's hysterical, the melodylessness of her dance. Don't tell nobody, don't tell a soul. She's dancing on beer cans and shingles. This must be the spook house. Another song with no singers, lyrics, no voices and interrupted solos. Unseen performances. Are we ghouls? Children of horror, the joke? Don't tell nobody, don't tell a soul. Are we animals? Have we gone crazy? I can't hear anything but the madness screams and the soft strains of death, and you promised me, you promised me! Somebody, anybody, sing a black girl song. Bring her to know herself, to know you. Sing her rhythms, carrying hard time, struggle. Sing her song of life. She's been dead so long, closed in silence so long. She doesn't know the sound of her own voice, her infinite beauty. She's half notes scattered without no rhythm, no tune. Sing her sighs. Sing a song of her possibilities. Sing a righteous gospel. Let her be born. Let her be born and handled warmly. I'm outside Chicago.
I'm outside Detroit.
I'm outside of Houston.
I'm outside Baltimore.
I'm outside DC. I'm outside Manhattan.
I'm outside Harlem.
I'm outside St. Louis.
And these are for colored girls who have considered suicide, but have moved to the ends of their own rainbows. Hey!
Mama's little baby like shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby like shortening bread. Hey, mama's little baby like shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby like shortening bread. Hey, little Sally Walker sitting in a saucer. Rise, Sally, rise and wipe your wicked out. Put your hands on your hips and let your backbone slip. Shake it to the east, shake it to the west, shake it to the one that you love the best. Mama's little baby like shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby like shortening bread. Mama's little baby like shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby like shortening bread. Mama's little baby like shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby like shortening bread. Mama's little baby like shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby like shortening bread.
Deep black Buick, smelling of Thunderbird and ladies in heat. We rambled from Camden to Mount Holly, laughing at the afternoon speeches, and they got our tassels from the rearview mirror. We was climbing different sort of project stairs. We moved to snapping beer cans and get it, that's the way we do it, mama! All Mercer County graduated on the same night. Cosmetology, secretarial, pre-college, auto shopping business. All us moving from mama to whatever was out there. Yes. That night we raced this big old truck from the barbecue stand, trying to tell them about the party at Jackie's, where folks graduated last year was waiting to hit it with us. Look, I got drunk, and I couldn't figure out whose hand was on my thigh. But it didn't matter, because these cousins, Martin, Eddie, Sammy, Jerome, and Bobby, was all my sweethearts ultimately simple. And everybody knew I always started crying if anybody actually tried to say it. Ooh, that night at Jackie's, Linda was talking all crazy. You see, Eddie Jones was her licking stick, but I know how to dance. It got so hot, Vincent Ramos puked all in the pond. Arnold jumped all up in Tico's face because he was leaving for the Navy in the morning. He had to kick ass so we don't remember how bad he was. Seems like Sheila and Marguerite was afraid to get their hair turned back, so they leaned up against the wall looking almost sexy. They didn't want to sweat, but me and my fellas was dancing. Since 1963, I won all kind of contests with the cousins at the police athletic league dances. All Mercer County knew any kid in Sammy Yates could turn somersaults for a Smokey Robinson could get a woman excited. Ooh, and we danced doing nasty doing nasty old tricks I've been thinking since May. Because it was graduation night, so it had to be hot. I was the only virgin. So I had to make like my hips was into some business. That way everybody thought whoever was getting it was an older guy couldn't run the streets with these youngsters. Ooh, then Martin slipped his leg around my thigh. The Dells bump stay up and down the new car homes. We was grown. We was finally grown. Then Linda all of a sudden went crazy. She went over to Eddie cursing and carrying on, tearing his skin with her nails. The cousins tried to talk some sense into her. They was holding her arms all back. Listen, bitch. And then Bobby whispered I should go with him. Before they get to cutting. Oh, okay. But police arrived.
know nothing about no party. And then Bobby started looking at me. Yeah, she started looking at me real strange. Like I was a woman or something. He started talking real soft in the backseat of that old Buick. Wow. And by daybreak, I just couldn't stop grinning.
You gave it up in a Buick?
Yeah. And honey, it was wonderful.
We used to do it all up in the dark in the corner.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, some niggas sweating all on you. It was good. I never did like the grind.
What other kind of dances are there?
Salsa, bomba, mare. When I was 16 years old, I ran out to the South Bronx to meet up with Willie Colon because I was gonna dance all the time. Salsa, bomba, mare.
Do you speak Spanish?
Hola. My papa thought it was Puerto Rican, but we were just regular niggas with hints of Spanish. So off I went to this 36-hour dance marathon from Sosa to Ricardo Sugar Ray on Southern Boulevard. Next door to this photographic place, jammed with burial, wedding, and communion brothers. Next door to an Alfredo, genuine Spanish bar. Upstairs, and lots of hallway with my colored New Jersey self. Couldn't understand what anybody was saying. Said if dance was proof of origin, I was Jimenita herself. And the next night, I kept smiling and writing stories. If he could leave, I was better than dance. If he couldn't leave, I popped this attitude like I see what else I do, it would not be bothered. So, there I was, twirling, hipping, giving much quick feet, and being a cute new color Puerto Rican, till Saturday afternoon when the disc jockey said,
Sorry, folks. Willie Colon ain't gonna make it today.
and all of my nigga temper came out. And I couldn't dance with nobody, and I talked English real loud. And I loved you more than I was mad. More than when I discovered Archie Shepp in the subtle blues. Don't you know I almost wore out the magic of juju while heroically resisting being possessed? Ooh, the sounds sneaking in underage as slugs to stare at a real artiste. And every word out of ENUF's mouth was gospel. And if Jesus couldn't play a horn like Shep, wasn't no need for color folks to bear the cross at all. And poem is my thank you for music. And I love you more than poem. More than Aureliano Buendia loved Macondo. More than Hector Lavoe loved himself. More than the lady loved gardenias, the Celia loved Cuba, or Arcacela loved El Son. More than the flamingo shoe and do I love being pretty. Oye, negro. Te amo más que. Te amo más que. Te amo más que when you play your flute. Te amo más que.
Te amo más que.
Te amo más que.
Te amo más que.
Te amo más que when you play your flute. Te amo más que.
Te amo más que.
Te amo más que.
Te amo más que.
Te amo más que when you play your flute.
Without any assistance or guidance from you, I have loved you assiduously. For 8 months, 2 weeks, and a day. I've been stood up 4 times, left 7 packages on your doorsteps, 40 poems, 2 plants, and 3 handmade note cards. I left town just so I could send to you. You have been no help to me. On my job, you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning on weekdays just so I could drive 27.5 miles how selfish I could be. If I would really carry on to snare a possible lover. If I could stand debasing myself for the love of another. If I could stand not being wanted when I wanted to be wanted, and I cannot, so with no further guidance or help from you, I am ending this affair. This note is attached to a plant that I've been watering since the day I met you. You may water it your damn self.
I don't want to write in English or in Spanish. I want to sing, make you dance. Like the Bata dance screen. Switch hips with me because I done forgot all about words. Ain't got no definition. I want to whirl with you. Our whole bodies wrapped like a ripe mango, rambling, whipping through space on the corner in the park where the rug used to be. Let Whitty go long take you out. Swing your head, push your leg to the moon with me. I'm on the Lower East Side of New York City, and I can't talk. I can't talk with you no more. We gotta dance to keep from crying.
We gotta dance to keep from dying.
So come on.
Come on.
Come on! Hold your head like it was a ruby sapphire. I'm a poet who writes in English. We come to share our world with you. Ladies, we come to share our world with you. We come to be dancing, to be dancing, to be dancing. Baya! Woo! Yeah!
A friend is hard to press charges against.
If you know him, you must have wanted it.
A misunderstanding.
You know, these things happen.
Are you sure you didn't suggest?
Had you been drinking?
A rapist is always to be a stranger to be legitimate. Someone you never saw, a man with obvious problems.
With peanuts on the inside of his lapel.
Or a ticket stubs from a porno flick in his pocket?
A little dick.
Or a strong mother.
Or just a brutal virgin?
But if you've been seen in public with him, dance one dance, kissed him goodbye lightly.
With closed mouth.
Keeping your legs closed will be as hard and pressing charges against someone who is trying to run a train on you.
These men friends of ours who smile nice, stay employed, and take us out to dinner.
Lock the door behind you.
With fist and face to fuck.
Who make elaborate Mediterranean dinners and let the art ensemble carry all ethical burdens while they invite a couple of friends over to have you, suffering from latent rapist bravado, and we are left with the scars.
Being betrayed by men who know us.
Expect like the stranger we always thought was coming.
That we will submit.
We must have known.
Women relinquish all personal rights in the presence of a man who apparently could be considered a rapist.
Especially if he was considered a friend.
And is no less worthy of being beat within an inch of his life, publicly ridiculed, and shoved with 2 fists up his ass.
Than the stranger we always thought it would be.
That never showed up.
Because it turns out the nature of rape has changed.
We can now see them in circles we frequent for companionship.
We see them in coffee houses.
With someone else we know.
We could even have them over for dinner and get raped in our own houses by invitation of friend. No. No.
Eyes.
Nice.
Wound. Nobody. Tubes. Tables. Whitewashed windows. Age from grime wiped over once. Legs spread. Anxious. Eyes crawling up on me. Eyes rolling in my thighs. Metal horses gnaw at my womb. Dead mice fall from my mouth. I didn't mean to. I didn't think I could. Just one day off. Get off of me all of this blood. Bone looking at me, pregnant. I couldn't have my friends see this dying dangling between my legs. I didn't say a word, or a sigh, or a fast scream to get them off of me. Get them eyes off of me. Get them steel rods out of me. This hurts. This hurts me. But nobody came, 'cause nobody knew. Once, I was pregnant and ashamed of myself.
Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. Rock me, baby. Rock me, baby. Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. Rock me, baby. Rock me, baby. You better rock me, baby. Like your back ain't got no bone. Once there were quad-room bars, elegance in St. Louis, lace mulattoes, and gambling down the Mississippi to Memphis, New Orleans, and okra crepes near the bayou. Well, poet trash sang, moaning strange liquor tones through the swamps. Said Cheetah, oh, she heard of these things and she moved as if she knew them. Silver tone laughing, violins and marble floors. So Cheetah pushed the clinging delta dust with painted toes. The patchwork tent was polka dot, and the starlight snatched at the shadows. Creole Carnival was playing in the chest in 2 minutes. Sachita, red garnets, gin stain and itchy on her thigh, black diamond stockings with yellow threads. An old taffeta can fell abundantly orange from her waist to her splintering chair. Sachita, Egyptian, goddess of creativity. Second millennium, through her heavy hair and a cord over her neck. Sachita, Egyptian, recording of history, spread crimson oil on her cheek, waxed her eyebrows, and unconsciously slugged the last of the hard whiskey in the glass. The broken mirror she used to decorate her face, tilted her head backward, her cheeks appeared sunken, her sassy chin only large enough to keep her full lower lip from growing into her neck. Sachita had learned to make allowances for distortion, but the heavy dust of the delta left a tinge of grit and dirt on each one of her dresses, on her arms and her shoulders. Oh, Sachita was anxious to get back to St. Louis. At least there, the dirt didn't crawl from the earth into your soul. In St. Louis, the crime was store-bought, secondhand. Here in the chest, it was as if God was wiping his feet upon her face. One of the wrestlers had finally won. Raoul, the mulatto, was supposed to do the Syrian Eagle, half castle, bear hug 8 counts, fall unawares, get thrown out of the ring, and do the Syrian Eagle in for good. Sachita could hear the rednecks whooping and slapping on the back. She gathered her sparsely sequined skirt and she made her face immobile. She made her face like Nefertiti entering her tomb. Suddenly, Sachita kicked full force through the canvas curtain. A deceptive glass stone shined malignant on her ankle, her calf brazen in the carny light. Moonlight, Sachita, Egyptian, goddess of love, second millennium, performing the rites, the conjuring of men, the conjuring of spirit. Here in the chest, the Mississippi spewed a heavy fume of barely moving water. Sachita kicked furiously through the crack of night, gold pieces heating the makeshift stage. Her thighs, they were aiming coins between her thighs. Sachita, Egyptian, goddess of harmony, kicked furiously through the night, catching stars between her toes. Rock me, baby, rock me all night long. Rock me, baby, rock me, baby. You better rock me, baby, like your back ain't got no bone.
The library was right down from the Charlie tracks, across from the laundromat, through the big shiny floors and granite pillars old St. Louis is famous for. There I found Tucson. By night after most of Cajun Katie, Pippin Longstocking, Christopher Robin, Eddie Hayward, and Pooh Bear in the children's room. Only pioneer girls, magic rabbits, and big city white boys. I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I ran into the adult reading room and came across Tucson, my first black man. I never counted George Washington Carver because I didn't like peanuts. Still, Tucson was a black man. A Negro like my mama say who refused to be a slave. And he spoke French and didn't allow no white man to tell him nothing. Not Napoleon, not Maximilian, not Robespierre. Toussaint Louverture was the beginning of reality for me. And the summer contest to see who colored child could read 15 books in 3 weeks. I won, and I raved about Toussaint, only to get disqualified after the afternoon ceremony because Toussaint belonged in the adult reading room. Still, I cried, and I carried Dad Toussaint home with me. He was dead in the book, but living to me, because Toussaint and them, they held the citadel against the French. With the spirits of old Africans from up out of the ground, Toussaint led the walking cannonball shooting spears to free Haiti, and there wasn't slaves no more. Toussaint Louverture became my secret lover. At the age of 8, I entertained him in my bed sheets with a flashlight under the covers. Way into the night, we discussed strategies, like how to remove the white girls from the hopscotch games and etc. Toussaint was laying next to me and Raggedy Ann. I decided to run away from my integrated street, integrated home, integrated school. 1955 was not a good year for little black girls. Toussaint said, "Let's go to Haiti." I said, "All right." And I packed up a few things in a brown paper bag so I wouldn't have to come back. Then Toussaint and I took the hood of my streetcar to the river. Last stop, only 15 cents. Because there wasn't nobody could see Toussaint except me. And we walked all down North St. Louis where the French settlers used to live. And tiny brick houses huddled together with barely missing windows and shingles uneven, with colored children on the playground playing and women on low porches sipping beer. I could talk to Toussaint down by the river, like this is where we was gonna stow away to New Orleans and catch a Creole fishing rig for Port-au-Prince. And we was just gonna read and talk all the time and eat fried bananas. We was walking and skipping past old drunk men when this old boy jumped out at me talking about, "Hey girl, you better come over here and talk to me." Well,
I turned to Tucson, who was furious, by the way, and I said, "You silly old boy, you better leave me alone or Tucson's gonna get your ass." That silly old boy came laughing all up in my face, yelling out, "You must be somebody to know my name so quick." I was disgusted. I just wanted to get to Haiti without some tacky old boy bothering me. But there he stood, kicking milk carts and pieces of brick, trying to get all up in my business. Well, I murmured to Tucson, "What should I do?" Then I said, "Well, who are you?" He said, "I'm Tucson Jones." Well, I looked right at him. Those skidded out corduroy pants, a striped t-shirt with 2 holes in his arms, and a scab over his left eye. And I said, "What's your name again?" "Tucson Jones." "Wow. Well, I'm on my way to go see Tucson Lecture. You ever heard of him? He has a country all to his own, and they ain't slaves no more." That silly old boy looked at me. "Look at here, girl. I'm Tucson Jones, and I don't take no stuff from no white folks. You don't see no around here, do you?" And he sort of pushed his chest out. Then he said, "Let's go on down to the docks and look at the boats." I was a little scared going down to the docks looking at the boats with my brown paper bag and my book. I felt Lecture sort of leave me until I realized Tucson Jones, who wasn't too different from Tucson Lecture, except the old one was in Haiti and the new one was right here with me, speaking English and eating apples. Yeah. I guess Tucson Jones was all right with me. No telling what spins we could have moved down by the river. St. Louis, 1955. Hey, wait!
Orange butterflies and aqua sequins and storms tween slight bosoms. Silk roses darting from behind her ear. The passion flower of Southwest Los Angeles meander down Hoover Street, past dark shuttered houses where women from Louisiana shell peas round 3 o'clock and sent their sons whistling to the stores for fatback and black-eyed peas. She glittered in heat and seemed to be looking for rides when she wasn't, and absolutely eyed every man who wasn't lame, white, or nodding out. She let her thighs slip from her skirt. Crossing the street, she slowed to be examined, and she never looked back to smile or to acknowledge a sincere, "Hey, mama," or to meet the eyes of someone purposely finding something to do in her direction. She was sullen, and the rhinestones etching the corners of her mouth suggested tears, fresh kisses that had done no good. She always wore her stomach out, lined with small iridescent feathers. The hairs around her navel seemed to dance, and she didn't let on. She knew from behind her waist was aching to be held. The pastel ivy drawn on her shoulders to be brushed with fingers and lips smelling of honey and Jack Daniels. She was hot, a deliberate coquette who never did without what she wanted, and she wanted to be unforgettable. She wanted to be a memory, a wound to every man arrogant enough to want her. She was the wrath of women in windows, figuring shades and old lace curtains, camouflaging despair and stretch marks. So she glittered, honestly delighted she was desired, and allowed those especially scheming and tactful suitors to experience her body and spirit tearing so easily blended with theirs, and they were so happy and lay on her lime sheets full and wet from her tongue. She kissed them reverently, even ankles and edges of beards. At 4:30 a.m. she rose, moving the arms and legs that trapped her. Affirming the sculptured man, she made herself a bath of dark musk Egyptian oils and Florida water to remove his smell, to wash away the glitter, to watch the butterflies melt into suds and the rhinestones fall beneath her buttocks like smooth stones in a Missouri creek. Laying in water, she became herself, ordinary. Brown braided woman with big legs and full lips, regular. Seriously intending to finish her night's work, she quickly walked to her guest, straddled on her pillow, and began. You'll have to go now. I've got a lot of work to do when I can't with the man around. Here are your pants. There's coffee on the stove. It's been very nice, but I can't see you again. You got what you came for, didn't you? And she smiled. He would either mumble curses about crazy bitches or sit dumbfounded as she repeated, I couldn't possibly wake up to a strange man in my bed. Why don't you go on home? She could have been slapped upside the head or verbally challenged, but she never was. And the ones who fell prey to the dazzle of hips painted with orange blossoms and magnolia-scented wrists had wanted nothing more than to lay between her sparkling thighs and had planned on leaving before dawn. And she had been so divine, devastatingly bizarre the way her mouth fit round. And now she stood, a regular colored girl, full of the same malice, livid indifference as a sister, warned from supporting a would-be horn player or waiting by the window, and they knew and left in a hurry. She would gather her jewels and her tinsels from the bath and laugh gaily or vengeful. She placed the rose beside her bed, and as she finished writing the account of her exploit in a diary embroidered with lilies and moonstones, she placed the rose beside her ear and cried herself to sleep.
I used to live in the world. Then I moved to Harlem. And now my universe is 6 blocks. When I walk in the Pacific, I imagine waters ancient from Accra, cleansing me, feeding me. Now my ankles are coated in gray filth from water neath the puddles in the water hydrant. My oceans were life. What waters I have now sit stagnant, circling old men's body shit and old whiskey bottles left to make me bleed. I used to live in the world. Then I moved to Harlem, a tunnel with a train in it. I can ride anywhere remaining a stranger. No, man, I don't want to go with you. I don't even know you. No, I don't want you to kiss me. Boy, you ain't but 12 years old. No, I don't need it. No, please, leave. Okay. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, maybe tomorrow. I could be alone, a woman in the world. Then I moved to Harlem. When I come in at dusk, I stay close to the curb, praying won't no young man find me pretty in a dark morning. Wouldn't be good at all for some tall, short, black, brown young man full of his power in my universe of 6 blocks. Straight up brick walls. Women hanging out of ceilings like old silk stockings, cats crying, children giggling, taverns with red curtains on it and bad smells, kissing women, crying and smiling, dirt sidewalks, spitting men, cursing, laughing. I spent more money yesterday and the day before than you ever gonna see, nigga. Hey! Come here, bitch! Can't you see this here $5? Go, sister. Go. Never mind. Don't pay him no mind. Go. Go. I used to live in the world. Really be in the world. Free and sweet talking. good morning and thank you and nice day. But I can't now. I can't be nice to nobody. Nice is such a ripoff. A regular beauty and a smile on the street is a setup. I used to live in the world, really be in the world. I had a right to the world. Then I moved to Harlem for the setup. 6 blocks of cruelty piled up on itself. A tunnel closing.
3 of us are like a pyramid. 3 friends. 1 laugh, 1 music, and 1 flower shawl knotted on each neck. We all saw him at the same time, and he saw us. I felt a quick thump in each one of us and didn't know what to do. Oh, we all wanted what was coming our way. So we split. But he found one and she loved him. The other 2 were tickled and they spurned his advances. And whenever the one that loved him was away, he would go to her saying, "Your friends love you very much. I know, for I have tried, and each time they keep asking, 'Where are you?'" Oh, she smiled and wondered how long her friends will hold out, for he is what they were looking for. He bided his time. He waited for romance to wane. And the 3 of us, oh, we talked about used to and could have been nice. The season was dry. No men, no quickies, not one dance or unrelenting eye, except for the one who loved him. And he appeared irregular, expecting graciousness no matter what. She cut fresh strawberries, and her friends called less frequently, on hunts for passing fantasies. She couldn't figure out what was happening. Then the rose she placed by his pillow, she found on her friend's desk, and there was nothing to say. I wanted to tell you, he's been after me all the time, says he's free, and doesn't know what's happening between you. It's nothing to me, and I didn't want to hurt you, but you know I need someone, and you know how wonderful he is. Her friend couldn't speak or cry. They hugged and went to where he was with another woman. He said goodbye to one and told the other he called. Oh, he smiled a lot. She placed her head in her lap, the lap of her sister, soaking up tears, each of them understanding how much love stood between them. How much love stood between them. How much love stood between them. Love like sisters.
There was someone called a colored girl, an evil woman, a bitch, or a nag. I've been trying not to be that and leave bitterness in somebody else's cup. Come to somebody to love me without deep and nasty smelling scalp from lie or being left screaming in a street full of lunatics whispering, "Slut, bitch, nigga, get out of here with all of that." I didn't have any of that for you. I brought you what joy I found, and I found joy. Honest fingers around my face with dead musicians on 78s from Cuba or with $5 LPs from Chicago where I have never been. And I love Willie Colon and Arsenio Rodriguez, especially because I can make the music loud enough. So there is no me but dance. And when I can dance like that, there's nothing could hurt me. But then I get tired and I have to come off of the floor. And there's that woman who hurt you, who you left 3 or 4 times and you just walked back. After you put my heart in the bottom of your shoe, you just walked back to where you hurt. And I didn't have nothing. So I went to where somebody had something for me. But it wasn't you. And I was on the way back from her house in the bottom of your shoe. So this is not a love poem, because there are only memorial albums available. And even Charlie Mingus wanted desperately to be a pimp. And I won't be able to see Eddie Palmieri for months. So this is a requiem for myself, because I have died in a real way. Not with aqua coffins and doo-wop Cadillacs I used to joke about when I was messing around. But a real dead loving is here for you now. Because I don't know anymore how to avoid my face wet with my tears, because I had convinced myself that colored girls had no right to sorrow. And I lived and I loved that way and kept sorrow on the curb. Allegedly for you, but I know I did it for myself. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand being sorry and colored at the same time. It's so redundant in the modern world. Oh!
I live with myth and music with my old man. I could dance a dance at a time with no partner. I take my field and keep right on stepping. Linger in non-English speaking arms with no possibility of understanding. You came in saying, I am the niggas. I am the baddest motherfucker out there. And I said, oh, that's who I've been waiting for. And to come with you, I had to bring everything. I had to bring the dance, the terror, the dead musicians, and the hope. Oh, and I didn't know what to do. The scars I had hidden with smiles and good fucking laid open. And I didn't know what to do, because I ain't had no more tricks. I'm really a colored girl. And I'm really sad. And sometimes you hurt me more than I could dance out of and into oblivion wasn't far enough to get me out of this. And I just want to die like the lily in the desert. I couldn't let you in because I didn't know. What I have is poems, big thighs, titties, and so much love. Just take it from me this one time. This is for you. Please. Arsenio's stress has cleared the way and made me pure. Please, please, take it. This is for you. I want you to love me and let me love you, because I don't want to dance with ghosts or snuggle with lovers I made up in my drunkenness. Let me love you like I am, a colored girl. I'm finally being real, no longer symmetrical and impervious to pain.
can't deal with emotion too much. Why don't we just go ahead and be white then? No use in just have it be wet and dry and abstract, with no rhythm or sheer reeling for the sheer pleasure of it. Yes, let's just go ahead and be white then. And no use holding on to ourselves. Let's think our way out of feeling. Let's abstract ourselves a family. And maybe tonight I can make myself come without you. No fingers or objects, just thought. Which isn't spiritual evolution because it's empty, and godliness is pure and ripe and fertile. Thinking ain't gonna do me a bit of good tonight. I need to be loved, and I haven't the audacity to say, "Where are you?" and don't know who to say it to.
I've lost it. Touch with reality. I don't know who's doing it. I thought I was, but I was so stupid. I was able to be hurt, and that's not real. Not anymore. I should be immune. If I'm still alive, and that's what I was discussing, how am I still alive and my dependency on other living beings for love? I survive off of intimacy and tomorrow. That's all I've got going. And the music was like smack, and you knew about that, and still you refused. My dance was not enough. And it was all I had. But being alive and being a woman and being colored is a metaphysical dilemma I haven't conquered yet. Do you see my point? My spirit is too ancient to understand the separation between soul and gender. My love is too delicate to have thrown back on my face. Hey, my love is too delicate to have thrown back on my face. Hey, my love. Come on, girl. It's too beautiful to have it thrown back on my face. Hey, my love is too sanctified to have it thrown back in my face. Hey,
My love is too magic to have it thrown back on my face.
Love is too sad to thrown back on my face.
My love is too complicated to have it thrown back in my face.
My love is to music. Thrown back in my face. Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. Not my poems or a dance I gave up in the street, but somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. Like a kleptomaniac, working hard and forgetting while stealing. This is mine. This is not your stuff. Now won't you put me back and let me hang out in my own self? Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. mainline number for my own shit. For my own shit. Now won't you put me back and let me play this duet with the silver ring in my nose. Te lo juro a Dios that somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff and I didn't bring anything but the kick and the sway of it. The perfect ass for my man and none of it is theirs. This is mine. And Tazaki, her own things. That's my name. Now give me back my shit. I see you hiding my laugh. And how I sit with my legs open sometimes to give my crotch some sunlight. There goes my love, my toes, my chewed up fingernails. Nigga, with the curls in your hair. Mr. Louisiana Hot Link, give me back my shit, my rhythms, and my voice. Open my mouth so I can talk you out of throwing my shit in the sewer. This is some delicate leg and a whimsical kiss I gotta have to give to my choice without you running off with all of my shit.
That's right.
Now, you can't have me lest I give me away. And I was already doing all that till you run off on a good thing. And who is this you left me with? Some simple bitch with a bad attitude. I want my things. I want my arm with the hot iron scar. I want my leg with the flea bite. I want my callous feet and my quick language back in my mouth. Fried platanitos and jugo de piña y pera. Sun Ra and Joseph and Jules. I want my own things. How I lived them and give me back my memories. How I was when I was there. Nigga, I want my shit back. Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff and I was standing there looking at myself the whole time. And it wasn't no spirit who took my stuff. Was a man whose ego walked around like rodent shadow. Was a man quicker than my innocence. I love her. I made too much room for. And I didn't think I would give myself up so quick. Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. Oye, hombre, this is not your prerogative. I need me in my pocket to get round like a good woman should. I need me in my pocket to get round like a good woman should. Now, what you want from me, I'll give it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you around 5 in the morning in the winter when the sky is blue-red and Dew City is being pressed. If it's really my things, you gotta give it to me. And if you really want it, I'm the only one who can handle it.
Yes.
That nigga be back tomorrow talking about I'm sorry.
Get this. Last week, my old man came in saying, I don't know how she got your number, baby. I'm sorry.
No, this one is it. Oh, baby, you know I was high. I'm sorry. I'm only human. And inadequacies is a part of being human. And if we was perfect, I wouldn't have nothing to strive for. So you might as well go ahead and forgive me, pretty baby, because I'm sorry.
Shut up, bitch! I told you I was sorry!
No, this one's it. I do you like I do you because I thought you could take it. Now I'm sorry.
No. Now you know that I love you, right? But I ain't gonna ever love you how you want me to love you.
I'm sorry.
One thing I don't need is any more apologies.
Ain't that right?
I got sorry greeting me at the front door.
Yes,
You can keep yours. I don't know what to do with them. They don't bring the sun up or get the morning paper. They don't open doors or make me happy. And didn't nobody stop washing cars using my tears because of sorry. I am simply to you. I'm gonna have to throw some away. Can't even get to the clothes in my closet because of all of the sorries. I'm gonna put a post by the door, leave a message by the phone, and if you're called to say you're sorry, call somebody else. I don't use them anymore. I let sorry, didn't mean to, how could I have known about that? Take a walk down a dark and musty street in Brooklyn. I'm gonna do what I want to.
That's right.
And won't be sorry about none of it. You were always inconsistent. Doing stuff and being sorry. Beating my heart to death talking about you sorry. Well, I will not call. I'm not gonna be nice. And I will raise my voice and scream and holler and break things and race the engine. And I'm gonna tell you all about your secrets about yourself to your face. And list in detail every one of my wonderful lovers and their ways. And I'm gonna play Oliver Lake loud. And won't be sorry, but none of it. I loved you on purpose. I was open on purpose. I still crave vulnerability and close talk, and I'm not even sorry about you being sorry. You can take all the guilt and grime you want to, just don't give it to me. Next time, you should just admit you mean, low down, trifling, straight out no count. And instead of being sorry all the time, enjoy being yourself.
That's right.
Yes.
It's not that I don't love him. It's not that I never loved him. It just had been so many years.
Number 7, QYG9.
It had been so many years, and there he was at the concert, looking the way he always looked. And then he looked at me the same way he always looked at me. Then he put his arms around my waist, and we walked the same way we always walked. I fell into his arms and into his bed.
Number 7, QYG9.
And it was the same, like it had always been. And I loved him like I always loved him. It'd been years. And one by one, my clothing started to fall off. And little by little, he entered me.
Number 7, QYG9.
It never occurred to me that there had been someone else. Even though it had been years and we were together again and we lived together again and we loved each other again, I never really realized the years apart. Number 7, QYG9.
And we were together. And I started making bakaloo from scratch when I got a call from Carol. And I said, oh, come over, I'm making bakaloo. I said, come over, we'll have it just for ourselves. It'll be just us girls. And we started giggling. And I said, this is going to be fun. So Carol came over in all her Ashanti robes and her braids.
And cowrie shells.
Oh my God, you look so good.
And so do you.
Well, DJ's got me so happy, I just don't know what to do with myself.
And Carol said,
I don't know why you're so happy. I saw DJ and Tito together over in front of the bar over on Lexington, looking more than friendly.
And I said,
What?
You heard what I said. They were together, looking more than friendly.
Oh, don't be silly. That's a gay bar, and DJ don't like faggots. I have to get on him for calling gay people such terrible names. So he wasn't there, unless he was trying to get Tito out of there. But he certainly wasn't there for himself.
And Carol looked at me with a smirk.
and I said,
You just mind your house and let me tend to mine, because there's nothing wrong over here.
And so Carol said after a while, you know what? You should really get tested.
Tested for what?
And she said,
AIDS. And I said,
What in the hell would I get tested for? DJ and I been together forever. And she said,
no, you've been together for a year. You were separated forever. Carol, he has been faithful to me for years. Girl, you tripping. I know you're not suggesting he's on the DL. Okay, I'm gonna go get checked, and I never want to hear any of this from you again.
After the tone of lunch had changed, we caught the train and went down to St. Vincent. The line was long and they drew our blood. Said it'd be about 2 weeks before we hear anything.
And I knew I wasn't going to hear anything. So I went home and waited for DJ. And we had a lovely afternoon and finished off the Baccalaureate.
And he finished off me.
And we had a lovely afternoon.
I cannot talk about this anymore because I don't have any more energy to talk about that.
And then I got a phone call. And it was for
Number 7QYG9. Number 7QYG9.
Number 7QYG9.
And I said, I think that's me, but I'm not sick.
That's my number, but you don't want to speak to me because there's nothing wrong with me. And they said,
Let me check your number.
and they checked my number, and I said,
You have tested positive for HIV.
and I thought,
I was going to faint.
how could I be positive? I don't take drugs. Am I going to die?
Oh no, you're not going to die. You're going to live a full and vigorous life. You just have to stay on your meds.
I said, oh, okay.
So I went home to wait for DJ.
But he was already there fixing chicken curry.
Oh, I'm making you chicken curry.
I went to the hospital and tested positive.
Tested positive.
Positive? Positive?
I tested positive for AIDS.
What do you mean you tested positive for AIDS? I didn't give you no goddamn AIDS. What are you trying to say? That I'm a fucking faggot? I didn't give you no goddamn AIDS. Who have you been sleeping with? That's what I want to know. Did you give it to me? I have to believe this test. I started treatment on Friday.
Fuck that hospital. Get tested again.
And I said,
Well, why don't you come with me to prove that you weren't the one who gave it to me?
I ain't going to no goddamn hospital. You can go by yourself and get your so-called treatment. I ain't been with no fucking faggot.
And then there was silence.
And his eyes became slits of molten brown.
And his left hand clenched into something dangerous.
And I fell out on the floor. I don't know what happened. I was out, and when I woke up, I started to rub the blood streaming from my eyes, and I smelled burning chicken curry. So I pulled myself up by the stove and turned the curry off.
I looked around, and all his things were gone.
His clothes were gone. His trinkets were gone.
His books were gone.
Everything about him was gone.
And I was positive.
And not positive at all. It's not that I don't love him.
It's not that I never loved him. It just had been so many years.
There was no air. The sheets made ripples underneath his body like crumpled paper napkins in a summer park. And the sweat from between his toes, the little biscuits from the day before ran in the sweat that tucked the sheets into his limbs like a old frozen bundle of chicken. He'd get up to make coffee, cook up his crack, drink wine, drink water. He wished one of his friends who knew where he was would come by with some blow or some shit, anything. There was no air. He'd see the spotlights in the alleyways downstairs moving across the wall over his face like in Fallujah and get underneath the covers and wait for an all clear. Or until he could hear traffic and the children again. There wasn't nothing wrong with him.
There wasn't nothing wrong with him. PTSD, PTSD, PTS. He kept telling Crystal, the social worker, well, any nigga want to kill Arab children and stay at home and take care of his own is sicker than a rabid dog. Well, that's how things have been going since he got back. Crystal just got to saying how much of a fool Bo was and always had been. Didn't he go all over uptown saying the kid wasn't his with some no-count bastards and asking if any police could come get him because as soon as the blood type and shit was together, everybody would see that Crystal was a no good lying whore. And this after she'd been his girl since she was 13. They met on the stairway.
He came home crazy as hell and tried to get veterans benefits for being in Basra and going to school, but they kept right on putting him in remedial classes. He couldn't read worth a damn. Couldn't read Farsi, couldn't read Arabic, couldn't read English. So Bo cursed the teachers of accusing him. He accused the teachers of holding him back and got himself a gypsy cab to drive. But the gypsy cab kept breaking down, plus not getting much bread. And Crystal went and got pregnant again.
Must be that goddamn raghead from the bodega. Bo most beat her to death when she told him. She still got a scar under her right tip from where he cut her up. And still she went right on and had the baby. Now Bo Willie had 2 children, a little girl named Naomi Kenya and a little boy named Kwame Bo Willie Brown. And there was no heir. How in the hell did he get this mess in the first place? Somebody went and told Crystal that he was spending all his money on the bartending bitch down at Merry-Go-Round Cafe. He was wrapped up all the sheets looking like John the Baptiste or a baby with stubble and nuts. He was smoking a pipe and the pipe was burning his fingers. His fingers was turning black, just like his teeth. And the pipe was burning his fingers, so he dropped the pipe. He couldn't get out of bed without cutting his feet. He had it Crystal to let him come home. Crystal had went and got a court order saying Bo Willie Brown had no access to his children, and if he showed his face, he was subject to arrest. Shit, she been in his ass to marry her since she was 14 years old. Now she's 22, she wanna throw him out because he said he gonna marry her. She burst out laughing. What you gonna marry me for now? So I can come support your ass, or come sit with you when they lock you behind up? Cause they gonna come for you. Yeah, they gonna come for you, you goddamn lunatic. And I'm not gonna have a thing to do with it. Now I wouldn't marry your pitiful black ass for nothing. She went to bed. The next day, Bo came in, swinging chairs at Crystal, who couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong with him, till he got to shouting about how he was gonna marry her and get on those veteran benefits and stop dropping them goddamn sticks around who was trying to kill him $15. And remember in Barca beating on Crystal when he couldn't do no more with the chair, he grabbed the high chair, and little Kwame was in it, and he started beating Crystal with her son, and some notion got in him to stop, and he ran off. That's why the police wouldn't let him anywhere near where they lived. And she just kept on telling the children how their daddy tried to kill her and Kwame, and now he just wanted a family. But the bitch was crazy. Bo was sitting up in his hotel room in his drawers, drinking coffee, smoking crack, drinking wine, spilling shit all over himself in the heat of the day, laughing about how he was gonna get Crystal to marry him and let him be a man in the house, and how she wouldn't even have to go to work anymore. So he got all dressed up in his ivory shirt and checker pants and went down to get all this mess cleared up. He went down to Crystal's room and knocked on the door. She didn't answer. He beat on the door to Crystal's room, and her and Naomi started screaming. He started hollering about how he was going to be how he wanted to be her husband, and did she want a husband or did she want to be a whore all her life? She kept on screaming for them to leave us alone. Just leave us alone. But Bro broke down the door. She held the children in front of her. She grabbed Kwame and held Naomi. Nigga, get out of here. Get out of here. Do you want the children to see you acting full again? Do you want Kwame brains after you throw him around? Nigga, get out of here. Don't show your face again. He ignored Crystal's outburst. Jumped up all unapologetic. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt him. I just want to hold him. I just want to marry you and give you things. What you gonna give me? A broken jaw? Nigga, get out of here. Get out of here and don't show your face. He reached for Naomi, and she pulled back the little girl looking at him like he was a leper or something. Don't you touch my child, motherfucker, or I'll kill you. He ignored her outburst and reached for her again. The little girl pushed away and ran to her daddy crying, Daddy, Daddy, come home, Daddy, come home. But you gotta be nice to Mommy because Mommy loves you. But you gotta be nice. So he set the little girl on his knee. He played with her ribbons and they counted toes and fingers, and every so often he looked at Crystal, holding Kwame, and say, see, Crystal, I can be a good father. Now let me see my son. And Crystal didn't move. He coaxed her and coaxed her, told her she was still a pretty little old thing, still strong. Didn't she get up right after that fight they had and go back to work? He oozed kindness, and Crystal, who had known so little, let her hold his son. And as soon as she let the boy go, Bo Willie jumped up, screaming, all right, bitch, you gonna marry me, you gonna marry me. I ain't gonna marry you, I ain't gonna marry you. Now give me my kids back. You gonna be in jail for this, give me my kids. Bo went to the window and kicked out the seal.
He started sweating like he did in the blogger. Say it to all the neighbors. You gonna marry me. Say it. I stood by Bo in the window, looking at Naomi reaching out for me. And Kwame screaming, Mommy! Mommy! But I could only whisper. And he dropped them! I was missing something. Something important. Something promised.
A laying on of hands.
Fingers on my forehead.
Strong, cool, moving, making me whole. Sense.
Pure. All the gods coming into me, laying me open to myself.
I was missing something.
Something promised, something free. A land known of hands.
Yemeya se su
Yemeya se su.
su yemeya
Se su yemeya. Yemeya se su.
su yemeya
Se su yemeya.
lodo o lodo yemeya
Yemeya lodo. Oh lodo yemeya.
I know something about laying on bodies, laying out a man, bringing him my fleshy self, and some of my pleasure being taken, full, eager, and wet like I get sometimes. But I was missing something.
A land known of hands.
Not a man.
Laying on. Not my mama. Holding me tight. Saying I'm always gonna be her girl. Not the laying on of bosom and womb. The laying on of hands. The holiness of myself released.
I sat up one night, walking the boarding house, screaming, crying, the ghost of another woman who was missing what I was missing. I wanted to jump up out of my bones and be done with myself. Leave me alone and go on into the wind. It was too much. I fell into a numbness until the only tree that I could see took me up in her branches, held me in the breeze, made me dawn dew that chill at daybreak. The sun wrapped me up, slinging rose light everywhere. The sky lay over me like a million men. I was cold, I was burning up, a child, and endlessly weaving garments for the moon with my tears. I found God in myself, and I loved her. I loved her fearlessly.
I found God in myself, and I loved her. I found God in myself, and I loved her. I found God in myself, and
And this is for colored girls who have considered suicide but have moved to the ends of their own rainbows. I found God in myself, and I loved her. My skin is black. My arms are long. My hair is woolly. My back is strong, strong enough to take the pain, inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is Sarah. My name is Sarah.
Today. What do they call me? I'm Lady in Brown. What do they call